everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're enjoying my videos. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for giving me your unconditional love, support, and most importantly your feedback, because that really matters to me. Otherwise I would never be improving and never be making any kind of pertinent videos or any kind of information for you. So today we are going to discuss about a very important thing. You can say the buzzword of now, because as we are slowly opening up, we are easing down lockdowns everywhere. It's going to be more and more important. So yes, we are talking about herd immunity today. It's not hard immunity, like it's not about the hardest form of immunity that you can have. Rather it's about herd, like HERD, which refers to a community or a population in general. So herd immunity is a phenomenon where a large part of the population is immune to a particular disease, so that it gives a passive immunity to others as well. So for this there are basically two ways in general. One is the natural or innate immunity, which is inherent to us, and like you are either very immune to a disease or not. And second is the way artificially immunizing a population, which is through vaccination, right, where a large part is immunized to a disease by the form of a attenuated form of the organism or part of the virus, anything. So in case of COVID, as you know, the second form is little bit far away. We don't really have a vaccination as of yet which can completely immunize the population. So we have to rely on our innate immunity as at this point. Okay, so when you're talking of innate natural herd immunity, we mean that around from 50 to even 80 to 90% of the population needs to be infected, depending on how much the contagious the disease is. Okay, and the rest 20% will eventually be protected if they are having an active form of immunity, the rest, like the 80% of it. So is it new? No, because there are several diseases, right from mumps to measles, and to some extent smallpox. Smallpox of course was eradicated through vaccination. Even chickenpox, where people develop this immunity once, like they have it in the childhood, they might not have it again, and this is kind of an immunity which happens among population. But even in case of these diseases, there can be populations where the people are not immunized enough, and these diseases can re-emerge. For example, even in case of diseases such as tetanus, you have to keep on taking the vaccine, the toxoid, again and again over a period of 1 year, or a booster dose, just because the disease is not contagious, rather infectious. You don't get it from another, but from the environment, and it can happen again. And also in many places where opposition to vaccination has also led to re-emergence of diseases. So yes, so when we are talking of herd immunity, which means a maximum amount of the population is going to be infected. The question is, are we really ready to afford that? Okay, as even the country I live in India, has a huge population, and it's true of perhaps most of the countries, where they cannot afford to infect 80 to 90% of the population. The reason being is that our hospital systems are not adequate. Okay, if you have 80% of your population, that may run into millions and billions of people who need hospitalization or medical care, and there are really not enough doctors and nurses at this point to treat these people affected with a disease, say COVID. The problem with COVID is also that it takes a lot of time to cure the patients, especially in case of critical patients. It takes a lot of time to even develop the disease, so that time is also a factor. Okay, when we talk of COVID, there is a lot of problems that as you are talking of other diseases, where you have the disease once and you do not get infected again. Okay, but this is certainly not the case with COVID. There has been numerous instances where the disease has a reinfection rate, like very high reinfection. There are people who have been infected 4 times after getting cured. So it really doesn't matter that you have the disease once and you are never going to be affected. That's not going to happen. In fact, the problem with flu-like viruses like COVID, like influenza, is that they mutate a lot, though for a lesser extent for SARS-CoV-2, but there are right now 11 strains at least going on around the world of different. So even if you get immunization, which may be transient for maybe some weeks or months, you might get infected by another strain of the virus. Also for flu, again, the immunity that develops in the body is transient in most cases. The side effects of COVID are very high. There are a lot of people who need critical care. There will be a lot of old like population, there would be kids, there would be pregnant women, and there would also be people who are immunosuppressed or having comorbidities, people who are already suffering from lung infections or having kidney problems. So they are the vulnerable population. So when you are talking of the 80% of the population, this includes this, okay, this population who is very, very vulnerable. So can we afford to put the vulnerable people at risk? That is a question that really needs to be answered at this point. Lastly, it is kind of my own opinion, is that the problem about COVID is that even though you are infected and you might be immune to it because your body fought back, you might be an asymptomatic carrier. So this, I don't know if anybody is discussing about it, but this really crossed my mind that even if, say, 70 people out of 100 are immune to it, they don't develop any symptoms, they do not have any critical care thing, but still they can infect other people who are vulnerable. So that numbers really are can run into crazy. So at this point, I do not think that herd immunity is a good idea at this point, to let everything loose and just let people, decide for themselves, and they're like not for themselves, like the immune system to decide for themselves. I don't think we can afford at this point. So there are basically three like kind of situations that I can think of. Is the first one is that where you have really fast infection, everybody is infected, and you hope that 70 to 80% will be immune to it and the rest will be protected as such, which is a very unlikely scenario, because if this number is going to overwhelm the hospital system or the medical system that we have. The second system is that you control a lot more, like a strict lockdowns, quarantines are going to happen for a very long time. But that has its cons, that when the economy is going to be affected, there are livelihoods that needs to be maintained, and in the long run that is certainly not feasible for any government or any leadership. The third one, which I think would be perhaps what we should do at this point, again a personal opinion, is that this disease is going to come in waves. It can die down, we can flatten down the curve, and it can again rise up. So in that case, we need to have an intermittent system of consecutive lockdowns or quarantines happening, so that at any point the number is not too large to overwhelm our healthcare system. So yes, at this point we really don't know the answer, but herd immunity at this point does not seem to be a feasible concept, thinking about our healthcare facilities and the kind of huge population that we have in our country as well as in the world. So please guys, this is my request to you. No matter what, the government cannot provide you protection for n number of years or n number of days in your life. It's you who is going to protect yourself and your family. So I know offices are opening up in some times, in the time the schools and universities are going to open up. So please protect yourself. Do not go out, do not go to malls, do not go to cinema halls, because I know we are all getting kind of jittery because we have been locked up in our homes for too long. This is not something we expected. This is not something we are responsible of, but it's our duty to protect ourselves. And this is, nobody is going to do it for you. So please don't go outside if it is unnecessary. Do not go to markets, if it is unnecessary. Please do as much protection as you can for yourself and your family. Hold on to the safety practices. Do not let them go as of yet. Wash your hands. Take care of the things that come from outside. Wear your masks. Have your safety protections. Follow these practices for quite some time, and there is no other perhaps way out. So yeah, this is just a request to you for you to please stay home as much as you can, and please stay safe.